Donald Trump's relationship with the media has always been a mix of conflict and craving for attention. From the earliest days of his public life, Trump has understood the power of the press, not just as a tool for communication, but as a stage for spectacle. He's never shied away from the cameras, often seeking out the spotlight even as he rails against what he calls fake news. He's battled news organizations, sometimes launching fierce attacks on journalists and entire outlets. Yet he knows headlines keep him relevant. Every story, whether positive or negative, feeds into his larger-than-life persona and keeps his name in the public conversation. Nowhere is this more obvious than with Time magazine, whose cover he's appeared on more than most. For Trump, these covers are more than just media moments, they're trophies, symbols of his enduring influence and ability to command attention. Trump has even displayed fake Time covers at his properties, showing how much he values that recognition. These displays blur the line between reality and image, reinforcing the narrative he wants the world to see. For him, every Time cover is a new chapter in his public saga, a reflection of his legacy. Each one marks a milestone, a moment when the world is forced to look his way, whether they agree with him or not. So when a new Time cover featuring him appeared in October 2025, it was more than just another magazine. It was a statement about his place in history. The cover became a talking point, sparking debates and reactions across the political spectrum. He celebrated covers he liked, proudly displaying them and sharing them with his supporters as proof of his continued relevance, and loudly criticized those he didn't, often using them as evidence of media bias or unfair treatment. His reactions, whether positive or negative, always make headlines of their own. This ongoing battle for control over his image is central to his public life. Trump's relationship with the press is a constant push and pull, a performance where every cover, every headline, is part of a larger narrative he's determined to shape. And as we'll see, even a positive story inside the magazine can be overshadowed by a single, controversial image on the front. The cover becomes the story, eclipsing the words within and shaping public perception in an instant. In Trump's world, a picture really can speak louder than 1,000 words. For a man who's built his brand on image, every magazine cover is both a battleground and a prize. Before the photo controversy, before the headlines and the heated debates, there was a different story quietly making waves. The real story was inside the magazine, tucked between glossy pages and bold headlines, waiting for readers to discover it. The article praised Trump's role in brokering a Gaza ceasefire, a major diplomatic win that few had anticipated. It painted a picture of a president stepping into a complex, volatile conflict and managing to pull off what many thought was impossible. It described his negotiations in vivid detail: late-night phone calls, tense meetings with advisors, and the relentless political pressure he applied to bring both sides to the table. The article highlighted the behind-the-scenes drama, the moments of doubt, and the breakthroughs that finally led to an agreement. The piece called it a potential signature achievement of his presidency, something that could define his time in office for years to come. For any leader, this kind of coverage in Time would be a moment of pride, a validation of their efforts on the world stage, and a testament to their ability to make history. The article suggested this could reshape his legacy, highlighting his skills as a negotiator and his willingness to take risks for peace. It emphasized how his approach, often unconventional, had managed to break through years of stalemate. It was a public relations victory, the kind of story any administration would want to promote, and a rare moment of bipartisan praise in a deeply divided political climate. The praise was clear. Trump's approach led to a real, positive outcome in a war-torn region, offering hope where there had been only conflict. The story was well-researched, presenting him as a determined leader who succeeded where others failed, and who refused to give up even when the odds were stacked against him. So, the words inside the magazine were a huge win. A rare moment of unfiltered praise in a world where criticism is often louder than applause. But the controversy that followed had nothing to do with the article's praise or the facts it presented. Instead, it was something entirely unexpected. Instead, it all centered on the photograph chosen for the cover, a single image that would soon eclipse the story itself. The storm that erupted wasn't about the facts or the narrative, but about perception, symbolism, and the power of media imagery. It was about how a single image could overshadow even the most glowing review, and how quickly public attention can shift from substance to spectacle. The cover photo would soon become the real headline, sparking debates that would last far longer than the story inside ever could. The November 10, 2025, Time cover was anything but ordinary. Photographer Graham Sloan shot Trump from a low angle at the White House, making him appear larger and more imposing. The sun blazed behind Trump's head, creating a dramatic halo effect. This backlighting erased the details of his famous hair, blending it into the sky. The result? A striking, unconventional silhouette that was both powerful and odd. The low angle suggested dominance, while the glowing outline could be seen as heroic, or just strange. The photo was technically bold, but not traditionally flattering. It was a visual puzzle, open to interpretation. Some saw a leader, others saw a caricature. The image was guaranteed to make people look twice. And for Trump, it was not the portrait he wanted. The cover's artistic choices sparked instant debate. Not everyone, especially Trump, was happy with the result. Trump wasted no time blasting the Time cover on Truth Social. Within minutes of its release, he was online, firing off posts to his followers and making sure everyone knew exactly how he felt about the image. He called it the worst of all time and super bad, classic Trump, blunt and direct. His words were sharp and his tone left no room for doubt. He was not amused by the magazine's choice. His main complaint, the low angle, which he's long disliked for being unflattering. Trump has always been particular about how he's photographed, often instructing photographers to avoid certain angles that he feels make him look less powerful or imposing. He also hated how the lighting made his hair disappear, blending into the background. For Trump, image is everything, and the way his hair looked in the photo was just another reason to be upset. Trump even joked the halo looked like a tiny crown, which he took as a slight. He's known for picking up on the smallest details, and this time, he saw the halo as a subtle dig at his ego. His anger wasn't about the article's praise, but the image itself. Despite any positive words in the story, Trump zeroed in on the visuals, convinced they were meant to undermine him. He accused Time of deliberately choosing a photo to make him look bad. In his view, this was just another example of the media's ongoing bias against him. Trump's public complaints turned the cover into a bigger story. What might have been a routine magazine release suddenly became headline news, with everyone weighing in on the controversy. The more he protested, the more attention the image received. Social media lit up with debates, memes, and hot takes, amplifying the drama far beyond the magazine's original reach. It became a classic Trump media showdown, a battle over image, not substance. Both sides dug in, with Trump defending his reputation and the media analyzing every detail of his reaction. His reaction made the photo, and the controversy, impossible to ignore. Suddenly, everyone was talking about the cover, dissecting its meaning and what it said about Trump's relationship with the press. The cover was now a national talking point. News outlets, commentators, and late-night hosts all weighed in, turning a single image into a symbol of the ongoing feud. Trump's fight with the media was back in the spotlight, reigniting debates about bias, image, and the power of publicity in American politics. Why did Time choose this photo? Was it an insult or an attempt at heroism? Photography experts weighed in, calling the shot technically strong and creatively composed. Carly Earle of The Guardian Australia said the low angle and halo could make Trump look powerful, even angelic. In the context of a peace deal, the image might have been meant to show him as a monumental figure. But the same choices that suggested heroism also made the photo unflattering. The low angle can exaggerate the chin and neck, while the backlighting erased his hair. Artistic intent and personal perception clashed. The photographer may have aimed for mythic. Trump saw mockery. This split in interpretation fueled the controversy. One image, two meanings, heroic to some, humiliating to others. That's the power and peril of a single photograph. Trump's outrage quickly became political fodder. Rivals seized the moment, using the cover as a tool for mockery. California Governor Gavin Newsom's office posted a version of the cover with Trump's chin pixelated, a direct jab at his sensitivity. The altered image went viral, turning Trump's complaint into a meme. Political trolling replaced policy debate. The episode showed how quickly a personal gripe can be weaponized in politics. In today's climate, even a magazine photo becomes ammunition. Trump's public frustration gave opponents an easy target. The pixelated chin became a symbol of the controversy. In the age of social media, image is everything, and every weakness is fair game. The controversy didn't stay in the US, it went global. Russian official Maria Zakharova called Time's photo choice self-incriminating, accusing the magazine of bias and malice. She contrasted Trump's cover with more flattering Time covers of President Biden, suggesting a political agenda. Zakharova's comments turned the debate into a question of media ethics and fairness. Her defense of Trump was also a critique of Western media, amplifying the story internationally. The incident became a talking point in global politics. It showed how American media choices are scrutinized worldwide. The photo was no longer just about Trump, it was about power, perception, and propaganda. A domestic squabble became international commentary. The Time cover was comedy gold for late-night hosts and social media. Stephen Colbert mocked the photo, calling it the worst Georgia O'Keeffe ever. Jokes about the lighting, the halo, and Trump's reaction spread quickly. On social media, users created memes, exaggerated the crown, and distorted the image further. The cover became a viral template for parody. Trump's complaints only fueled the fun, making the image even more shareable. The photo took on a life of its own, far beyond its original context. It became a cultural moment, a shared joke millions were in on. In the digital age, public figures can't control how their image is used. The more Trump protested, the bigger the meme became. This story reveals a hard truth about public life: you can't control your image. For Time's editors, the photo was artistic. For Trump, it was an insult. For rivals, a punchline. For the public, a meme. In today's media landscape, images are captured, shared, and reinterpreted instantly. Years of careful branding can be undone by a single viral photo. Trump, a master of media, found himself unable to shape the narrative. His complaints only made the image more famous. The controversy highlights the blurred line between journalism, art, and politics. Was the photo fair, biased, or just bold? There's no single answer. The meaning lies in the eye of the beholder. In the end, the battle for image control is unwinnable in the age of social media. One photo, endless interpretations, a perfect snapshot of modern public life.